Hello everybody at the Schwantz27's channel, it's your Lord and Savior Vince Zampella here to tell you about the latest update to our game Titanfall 2 called Tricks and Treats, of which this patch is mostly the former and not the latter. We said that we were going to have free DLC maps for this game, but we need to actually feed our family, so in lieu of making content that would be new and free for everybody, we're instead cranking out weapon skins with game-altering properties that you could buy for $5 a piece. So stop knocking on my door for free shit. There's no new maps, and by that I mean maps from the first game being reintroduced into the sequel. There's no new maps for the live fire game mode, which we're keeping on life support as something to pat ourselves on the back about creating DLC maps from scratch, and no new maps for Frontier Defense, and by that I mean maps that are already in the fucking game, just ported to the PvE game mode. However, there are 3 elite skins for the Sidewinder, Mastiff, and L-Star, which are really just palette swaps from skins that were already done for other weapons in previous patches that drives home the minimal effort that you get when the boss wants you to make them more money. There's also 3 timed Halloween skins, which are only available until the end of November and don't look much like Halloween except the car with the Jason mask, but the Spitfire with the clown and the R201 with the Hellhound. I guess with all the cosplay stuff we've been getting sent on Reddit and Twitter, we didn't want to go too in-depth with our Halloween theme such that you could use these skins year-round. Speaking of the R201, it caught a nerf along with the basically identical except for reload animation R101 in the form of a view kick and hipfire spread increase, while the flatline was buffed via a recoil reduction after it was nerfed in the previous patch to have a damage reduction. Thus, now we're making it even more like the other assault rifles. How's that for variety? Also, we heard your complaints about the pistol nerf, so we buffed the Wingman Elite in the form of damage and magazine size, as well as the Mozambique getting 2 more shots and now is an automatic pistol with a higher fire rate. Oh, and because they've been buffed and can compete with primary weapons, we're moving them into the primary slot. So next time, be careful what you wish for, cretins. The arc grenade also got radically changed to make it a sticky grenade and multiplayer only, since apparently the pulse blade, more on that later, was too hard to nail people with for shitters. In another meta-altering update, we changed the grapple to have only 1 charge and a faster cooldown rate due to the complaints on how OP it is in Capture the Flag, a game mode which is less popular than a certain patent that another publishing company has gotten for its matchmaking. We did this instead of the obvious tweak to limit grapple when holding the flag to prevent instacap slingshots, so that this way we'd have something to fix in the November patch. Isn't job security such a great thing? Even though most of the vanilla maps are basically designed with grapple in mind, we found a way to nerf your favorite tactical to make the game less fast-paced for those Titanfall Ultimate Edition plebs that just got the game on the cheap and are getting absolutely stomped. We weren't done with the tacticals, as Hollow Pilot got a buff to have a faster cooldown, and the Pulse Blade is tweaked to be used more often with a faster cooldown, but a shorter duration, so it's more like your masturbation sessions. Lastly, on pilot changes, the turrets now have increased health, but also take more damage from pilot weapons such that they can be an annoyance to Titans only, which are already bombarded with more shit than the White House press secretary. Speaking of Titans, we buffed North Star's mobility during hover and the speed of the cluster missile, since something in this game has to be fast. We also patched that pesky bug where Tone's particle wall would take more damage if you aimed at a Titan behind it than if you were just shooting into it, which doesn't make any sense. Who the fuck are these idiots shooting at a wall with no Titan behind it? Also, we're making changes to Frontier Defense to nerf arc traps to cost $650 instead of $500, along with fixing a bug where they were hanging around like an annoying-ass relative after a loss or were picked up, and we buffed the amped battery to cost $400 instead of $500 for the sake of not having 2 things cost the same amount of money. We also gave players 5 seconds of invincibility after dropping out of the dropship to prevent ticks from jumping on your dick as soon as you land. Also, in game mode tweaks, we made Attrition last longer than you do in bed now, with a score limit of 650 instead of 500 and a 15-minute time limit instead of 10. And also lowering the score for Reapers to just 3 points instead of 5. Speaking of Reapers, we're finally tweaking those annoying-ass fuck trumpets, but not to the benefit of Titans, as now they do more damage and are more accurate with projectiles. They have slightly increased health, however, pilot weapons do more damage to them, much like we did with the turrets. They also now dodge less frequently though, which should make them more like the cannon fodder they should be. So, as you see, the only treats that you're getting in this patch you actually have to pay for in the elite weapon skins, and we're going to trick people into playing the game now that we fucked the entire way the game plays after it's been out for just over a year, but you could try to play the aptly named Great Bamboozled time-exclusive game mode, where all pilots now must take the Holopilot tactical. I hope people don't get too salty on Reddit about our bamboozling and quit playing the game in favor of another FPS that comes out relatively soon.